Big news today, the Prime Minister has finally come out of hiding. Why, you might ask? Well, he's made yet another announcement on how he's going to get the country out of the COVID mess that he's created. His 48th National Cabinet meeting, and he's announced, believe it or not, we now have new pathways and plans with 4 phases. This is the bloke who bought you targets that he never met, so he abandoned. Then, of course, we had a roadmap. Then last week in Parliament, he said, don't worry, we've now got horizons. Horizons, of course, is something that you never actually get to. I mean, what next week? Vectors. Seriously, Scott Morrison is a joke, and make no mistake, these latest announcements are simply to distract Australians and cover up from his own failure on hotel quarantine and vaccines. The fact is, we don't have enough vaccines, and Australians don't have a choice in vaccines, which just about every developed country in the world now has. We've got more lockdowns, but unbelievably, the Prime Minister said today, Australians have to understand that we're prisoners of our own success. He actually said that. More like victims of Scott Morrison's failure. Right now around the country, we've still got 12 million people locked down. We've got 35,000 Australians locked out and 25 million Australians locked up in our country indefinitely because of this bloke's failure. Today's announcement also that we're going to cut international arrivals for the next 6 months is no success. It's an admission of abject failure. And I just want to share with you one story. I've been deluged already today by Australians who are devastated to hear about the cut to arrivals for months, because that means they're not going to be able to see their family, to see their husband, their wives who have been stuck overseas, or in many cases, meet their own children. But this is an email I got just before, about half an hour ago, from Jay Davis. Jay asked me, he said, with the utmost urgency, please get the message back to Australian governments that decreasing international arrival capacity is not a success. What it means for people like Jay, he said, this July will mark 17 months. That's right, a year and 5 months since he last saw his wife on their honeymoon. They spent over a year planning, organising, actioning the visa application. They've spent over $15,000 of money that they don't have easily, and they were finally given an opportunity to start a life together. They've jumped through the government's visa hoops, the unreasonable delays, the stressful, ever-changing international travel rules and guidelines, and literally only 2 days ago, after more than 14 calls to Singapore Airlines, countless hours stuck on the phone, they finally got an alternative flight. His wife does have to have a 32-hour layover in Singapore, but it was hope. It was a possibility that they could finally settle in Australia and start their life. His wife's visa requirements mean that she has to arrive here by the end of October. And it's so disappointing for people like Jay that after the Australian government allowed people on a private jet to arrive who were COVID positive, that their admission of failure, Scott Morrison's failure to build purpose-built quarantine a year ago, has meant that thousands of Australians like Jay have now had their hopes dashed and look like they're going to be waiting 6 months, 12 months to be reunited with their families. I've got countless cases of people whose biological clocks are ticking, who've got letters from the IVF doctor saying if they can't get their wife here or their husband, this is their last chance in this life to start a family. So this cut on international arrivals is no cause for celebration. It's Scott Morrison's failure and he owns this. Australians deserve much, much better.